What's up out there to all of my fellow gold diggers? This is your girl Rita, also known as the self-proclaimed gold digger. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Y'all know I love and appreciate each and every one of you, especially if you are also a fellow gold digger. All right, guys, let me see. Tonight is Tipsy Tuesday, but let me make sure everything is good to go for Facebook. So let me check that really quickly. Yeah, we are good on Facebook. All right, so I was gonna put my phone up, but tonight's Tipsy Tuesday topic, we are going to be talking about all things love, okay? And my apologies on last week because I did not do a Tipsy Tuesday, and the reason was because your girl was sick. Your girl was sick and had COVID. So I was quarantining and stuff like that. I was definitely feeling better. I will say this, I've been doing good. I was feeling better by then. I just could not talk for long periods of time. Like after I would talk for about 5 minutes or so, I would get kind of like choked up, like I get a tickle in my throat. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to do the live and everything, but I am back. And since last week was leading into Valentine's Day, the topic that we were going to be talking about then, it was going to be talking about love. So love is always in season, or it should always be in season. So that is what we are going to be touching upon today. Just all different types of love. And happy belated Valentine's Day to everyone. I hope y'all had a wonderful day. Even though I was in quarantine, I still had a good Valentine's Day. My hubby made sure that I had a nice day. So I am definitely appreciative of that. Okay. So we're just going to pick up where we left off and start talking about love. And see already, y'all, I'm pretty much back to normal, but even when I talk a lot, my throat gets really dry. So I'm going to be taking probably more sips than usual this Tipsy Tuesday, but I got my water here. All right, what's up? And I see we already have some people joining. What's up, Belford? Good to see you. He says your big brother is back in the building. Ooh, Belford, I would love to hear, since we're going to be talking about love, I would love to hear your male perspective on love. And Gladys Zimmerman, welcome, Gladys. This is my first time seeing you. She says love has everything to do with it, my dear. All right, so I am glad that you are joining me as well, whether you're joining me on Facebook, YouTube, however you're joining. I'm just so glad to have y'all. All right, and I'm glad to be back and doing this again. So I'm really excited about that, y'all. And my birthday is coming up. My birthday is next week. So I'm also excited about that. But before we get into it tonight, we have to do our Tipsy Tuesday theme song. So I'm going to go ahead, do my best and do that. And then we're going to roll into the topic. Hopefully we're not going to be talking about it long because I'm just want to hit a couple of little points and keep it moving. All right. So here we go. Tipsy Tuesday. Tipsy Tuesday. Tipsy Tuesday. Get your tips and pass the dues. Say Tipsy Tuesday. All right. So once you hear the Tipsy Tuesday song, y'all already know that is your official welcome to Tipsy Tuesdays. And if this is your first time joining, basically on Tipsy Tuesday, I just share some tips, some of my thoughts and things like that, and hope about various different topics in hopes that it will help you in some aspect of your life. Okay. All right. So since we just recently celebrated Valentine's Day, talking about love. Now, love is a powerful thing, okay? Love is very powerful, it's very strong. Love has a whole bunch of different definitions, what some people think about love. Yeah, love can just be, I won't say controversial, but I'm curious to know what some of your definitions of love, whether it is romantic love, whether it is just, I want to say like platonic love and stuff like that. So I feel like for me, love is very easy and carefree. I love love. I love. It's a beautiful thing. Love is very easy and carefree, but in the same token, I feel like love is like two sides of a coin. Love is also putting in work, and love is also sacrifice. And it doesn't matter what kind of love it is. I feel like for both things, whether it's like romantic love, whether it's platonic love, whether it's familial love, love of like your family members, whether it's self love, I feel like it should be carefree and easy. But at the same time, the other side of the coin is that love is putting in work to make it work. And love is about making sacrifices and putting some things above your own possible wants and desires. But the reason why I say it kind of has like two sides of a coin is because even though you might put something above your own wants and desires, because you love the person or the individual so much, and you want them to be happy or you want to see the best for them, it's like it's not really you putting it ahead of your own wants and desires, because part of your wants and desires is for that person to be happy and stuff like that. So that's why I'm like, love has, it's like two sides of a coin, and it's such a beautiful thing, but at the same time, it's love is so simple. It's simple to do, but at the same time, it's so complex as well. So I'm hope I'm making sense, and possibly probably if you've ever been in love, had love for someone or anything like that, you probably know what I mean. Like there will be times where things are so easy, things are flowing so naturally. It's like y'all have your own little groove and everything like that. Like I've been with my husband over 20 years, and some things come very naturally and very easily. But at the same time, on the same hand, we have to put in the work to make sure our love works as well. So and that could be sacrificing, time doing certain things, putting his wants and needs above my own wants and needs. But like I said, at the same time, it's like even though you're doing that, because you care so much for the person, you don't even mind doing it because your ultimate goal is to make them happy, or you want them to be happy. So that's how I feel about it. And that's in relation to romantic love, but the same thing happens in like familial love as well, like when it comes to love of your child. um you know, these kids, I tell my kids all the time, I'm like, you better be glad I love you, because some of the stuff I would not be doing if I did not love you. And love, and sometimes I want to lay some hands on them, but because I love them so much, it keeps me from doing certain things. Whereas if I did not have love, or if I did not have regard for them, then I would just be doing all kinds of things. So, and it applies to love of just people in general, because people will, whether it's like just the general population, people will test you. And if you don't genuinely have a love for people, which I love people, I don't like to be around a whole lot of people. But if you genuinely don't have a love for people, you can be really ugly and mean and disrespectful to people, even when they might deserve it. But because you have like a certain kind of love or regard for individuals or for humanity, it's like you kind of check yourself and stuff. So love is a very, very beautiful thing. I absolutely love love and all that it brings, but it can be very complex, and complex and so simple at the same time. And I know it sounds crazy, but I'm sure y'all can relate if y'all have ever been in love. Anybody? Let me see. I'm trying to see if anyone had chimed in, but no one, y'all don't want to touch the topic of love. I see. Maybe because I don't know, but I like seeing people happy. I like seeing people in love. Um, yeah, love is just so beautiful. Now, I will say this too. In the Bible, it says like love is patient, love is kind. And I think that is so true. And sometimes when dealing with certain people, I say my patience is gone. And if my patience is gone, guess what? My love is gone as well. So if my patience has run out, it is no longer love, especially according to especially according to the Bible. But love is supposed to be patient and love is supposed to be kind. So when you have tried all of my patience, the love is gone. The love is gone, and you might as well just come back another time or whatever, because you're not going to get anything loving, so to speak, from me. Although I strive to treat everybody kindly and to be patient, but some people really just try your patience and stuff like that. But if you really look at that scripture, it is so true. It's like you put up with a lot more stuff when you love somebody. It's like being that patience, even when it's like your child. It's like certain things as a parent, you have to really be patient when it comes to raising children and them making mistakes and things like that. And because you love them and your love is patient with them, then you're able to go through certain things and go through certain situations where if you did not have that patience, it could very well go a totally different way. Now I say that with my kids, I say that like with my husband, but with some other people, like I said, my patience might run out. And if that is the case, the love is gone. Okay. The love is gone, and I'm not going to be able to do much more with you once my patience has run out. Now, I will say this, it takes a lot. Unless you're just purposely doing something to me, it takes a lot for me to like lose patience with somebody, because ultimately I do want to see the best for everybody, and I don't want to try and purposely hurt anyone. So yeah, it would take a lot for me to lose my patience and to be unkind to someone. So that's why I try and take it to the Lord in prayer and say, Lord, you give me a little bit more patience with this situation, because I'm really not trying to be ugly or hateful or mean or anything like that to the person. Like I said, even even when they might deserve it, even when they might deserve it. And it says like love covers a multitude of sins. And oftentimes it's when somebody does something wrong, like it covers a multitude of sins. It's like, okay, I'm gonna overlook some stuff because I love you. Because I love you. All right, let me see. Belfer says, oh, Belfer, look at you using these big old words. Love is a dichotomy. It's complicated and easy. Yes. I think people use it too loosely. I think we so often confuse love with infatuation and even people's desires to be loyal. Um, and then Portia, what's up, Portia? Good to see you. She says, so true. I'm gonna put Belford's comment back up. Thank you for joining, Portia. Because I want to touch upon what Belford said. Yes, Belford, what you're saying is very true. I think people use it too I think certain people use it too loosely. Um At the same time, though, it's easy for me to love someone. Like I said, it takes a lot for me to lose my patience with someone. So it's easy for me to love someone. So I can say, as long as you're not outright being like mean, disrespectful, trying to, I don't know, put me down or something like that, it's very easy for me to love someone. So it's easy for me, and I'm not talking about romantic love or whatever. So it's not hard for me to say I I love you or whatever. And I don't know if I totally agree with people using it too loosely. I think it's more so it's that, like how you said, it's a dichotomy. Love is so easy. So it's easy for me to love you, but then when it comes time for the individual to put in the work, that is required of love. Like when it starts getting complicated, when you start having to make those sacrifices, when you start having to put aside some of your own wants because you love that person, then it's like, hey, you're not respecting both sides of love. And so people will easily understand or be able to appreciate the easy part of love. But when it comes to that complicated part, that's when they're like, nah, I ain't signed up for all this. I ain't signed up for all this. So, and I was going to share with y'all one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite like love movies, romantic movies is like Love Jones. And one of my favorite line in the movie, I know everybody, I love the movie because it has the poems in it and all that. I love the poem that Darius Love Hall does at the beginning, all that kind of stuff. I love that. But my favorite line in that movie is when his friend, I forget his name or whatever, but the friend who is married, and he was like, falling in love ain't ish. I ain't gonna say the real word. Falling in love ain't ish. He was like, everybody running around here, running, jumping, skipping, falling in love, but falling in love ain't ish. And this is when he was going through it with his wife. He was like, can somebody please tell me how to stay in love? That was like the realest thing I ever heard when he said that. Because falling in love is easy. And that's what I mean. It's easy for me to love someone. And a lot of people in the beginning, it's very easy for you to love someone. And that might be why they're using the term more loosely. But when it comes to those times where you actually got put in that work, it's a whole different story. It's a whole different ball game that you playing with. And like you said, falling in love ain't ish. And I will say that falling in love ain't ish. That's why I'm like, it's easy for me to love people. Falling in love ain't ish. But can somebody please tell me how to stay in love? Because yeah, everybody around here running, jumping, skipping, falling in love. But when times get tough, and that's kind of like even what in the movie what Darius and Nina were going through, it's like when it came time to like when the rubber hits the road and trying to make it work, that's when it got a little messy and that's when it got a little bit complicated. That's when we got all up in our feelings and we like, I don't want to be vulnerable, all this kind of stuff. When it comes to that, it's harder for us to do that part. But the fun part, the simple part, all that falling in love part, that's the easy part. But if you want to stay there, you're going to have to put in the work. There are going to be times where you're going to have to do certain things where you might not really be invested in doing them and make certain sacrifices. So yeah, some people are using it too loosely because they're only seeing, I feel like they're only looking at that one side of the love coin and not looking at the other side of the love coin. And then what you also said was people confuse it with infatuation or their desire. And I think even with that, people fall in love with an image of somebody, which is why I'm really big on so now I don't really care. But always at one point in time, with certain people who didn't know me, like growing up, we didn't go to school together or whatever. There were certain things I didn't want them to know about me because I was like, that is not who I am. Or like my title, I'll say this. So I didn't want people necessarily to know that I was a doctor because I wanted them to know me for me and not so much for my title, because I didn't want them to, I'm not saying fall in love, but I didn't want people to like me or be infatuated with me for those reasons, because that's my title and that's not who I am. So I think sometimes too, people fall in love or they love who they think somebody is, and that's not really who the real person is. Like that's not really their, like that's just their, so a lot of times people just showing you their representative. Like they just putting their best face forward. That is their representative. But who they truly are is totally different story. Or you have an idea that this person is a certain way because of maybe the clothes they wear, the job they have, the car they drive, something like that. Who they hang around. So you have this idea and you become infatuated with them based off of these other things. And then as you get to know the person, you realize, hey, this is not who I thought this person was going to be. But those are just my thoughts. Let me take a sip, y'all. I told y'all if I talk too much, I've gotten better. All right, and then Belfer also says, love, contrary to what people would say, love is a decision that we make daily. You choose who you love. Yes, you definitely do. You definitely do. So, especially, so if someone, and I know love is more so used in like romantic relationships. So if someone does not love you, or they don't, I won't even say that if they don't say that they love you, because some people say they love you and they might not even mean it. Okay. They might not even mean it. They might just be saying it because that's what you expect them to say or whatever. But you have to really decide if you want to love someone, like, and really you're deciding, do I really want, pretty much, I know it sounds harsh, do I really want to put up with this ish every day? Do I want to put up with the good and the bad of dealing with this person and being with this person? Like, do I want to love them in spite of X, Y, Z, whatever their flaws are, whether now, and this is whether it's romantic, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a family member. And it's like, do I really want to deal with this? And do I want to invest these types of feelings and emotions into this person? So you are deciding each day. And sometimes, especially with family members, you can decide to love them and not like them. That is definitely a choice. Like, I don't wish any ill will towards you. I don't hate you. I have decided to love you, but I do not like you or your ways or your behavior. So even who you like is a decision, and you can love someone but not like them. This I ain't gonna say there's plenty of people, but I know there's several people I love. I have love for them. Do I like them? No, I do not. I do not. I do not like them. I do not like them, Sam. I am at all. Okay. But I have decided to love them in spite of, because that is what I have been called to do. You know, the Bible says you got to love everybody, even though some people are harder to love, but you ain't got to like everybody. So I try very hard to show love to everybody. That's why I say it's really hard. I can easily give love, and it's hard for me. Like, if my patience is really gone, like my patience is done with you, it would take a whole lot for me to stop loving someone. Okay. And I'm talking about like just in general. Like, you really have to do a whole lot. I might not like you. I ain't gonna deal with you. You stay over there. I'm gonna stay over here. I still got love for you. But no, we are not going to be interacting or anything. But love is definitely a decision that you make. Let's see. And then, because I see, hold on. Belfer also says, if we couldn't choose who we love, the term I fell out of love wouldn't exist. Yes. And even with that, I always say you can't really, you choose who you love, but you do also have a strong attraction, or you can also have like a strong desire or be pulled to certain people and stuff. Like, even with some of my friendships, like I've told y'all before, like my best friend, initially I did not like her. Now, it was for a bogus reason where I did not like her. That was totally on me. But certain people are drawn to you. And I joke with my husband too. I'm like, I don't even know why these people like me. Like, why are these people wanting to hang out with me and be with me or whatever? And like, if it was my choice, I won't say there's anything wrong with certain people, but it's like, I wouldn't necessarily think that they would want to hang out with me or want to do certain things with me or that kind of thing. Like, I wouldn't necessarily choose them, but they chose me or whatever. And it's just because, y'all, I'm an introvert, so I don't be trying to be around people like that and everything. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why why are these people attracted to me? Um, so, but so I do feel like you do choose who you love, but at the same time, there is a component of where there is like a sense of attraction that people might have towards someone, and it might, and I won't say I'm big on energy, but I do pick up on people's energy from time to time. And so if it's like a positive energy, you might be like, I don't know why, but I just want to hang out with this person or whatever. And you just feel something that makes you want to do that. And then like, and even the thing I have an issue with is the falling out of love. And it's like, I don't think you fall out of love. It's like same thing, like what you were saying, Belfort. It's like you just chose not to do the things that are required of you to be loving or in love with this person. So it's not necessarily that you fell out of love, unless this person is like abusing you or hurting you or something like that. But you're probably not putting in the work to stay in love, which is why I love that quote from Love Jones so much. It's like you got to put the work in to stay in love. And if you're not putting the work in, then yeah, you will fall out of love with a lot of people. Or if the other individual is not putting the work in or the same level of work in that you're putting in, then it can cause you to be jaded in the situation and be like, why am I doing all of this and they're not doing what they are supposed to be doing? But which can be a whole nother topic, because you can love somebody and that other person not love you. So, and it happens all the time. You can have a love for an individual and they don't have any type of love whatsoever for you. I mean, that's pretty much what Jesus died on the cross for. Like, all of us did not know Jesus, but he had love for us, and he knew that a lot of people did not love him, would not love him. Some people are going to be against him, but he still decided to have love for everybody. So it's not as foreign a concept. You can love someone and they not love you back. Okay. And you chose to love them. They just ain't choose to love you. Portia says, hey friend, hey girl, hey. Sometimes I have to learn to love some from a distance. Yes, so true. I have to protect myself from some loved ones. I can only take so much. Yeah, and the reason, I won't say the reason, but you have to do that because when you do love someone, like I said, it's two sides of that coin. Like, it is so easy to love, but at the same time, you're sacrificing something, you're putting in some work, you're investing something too, and that's what makes it hard. So when you're doing all that investment, when you're putting in all your best efforts, and that person continually hurts you or continually abuses or misuses the love that is being shown or takes it for granted, it hurts, because you are doing, your heart is hurting because you're pouring out so much love to someone else, and it's not being reciprocated. So sometimes, yeah, you got to love people from a distance so that you don't get hurt, because you don't want to keep pouring out, and it's not being reciprocated back to you. Because then at that point you start, like, I won't say self-inflicting pain, but you know, you can start thinking all kinds of stuff, or people just abuse certain situations, especially, and it's sad to say, especially when people know that you love them, you have genuine care and concern for them, but they don't have that same genuine care and concern for you, or and oftentimes sometimes it's not even for you, it's for themselves. Like, they don't even care enough about themselves to be able to show you that same kind of love that you are showing them. So that's why they can't even comprehend the level of love that you are giving to even be able to reciprocate it. Which all goes back to, I know I always say, like, self-love is the best love, because if you don't have love for yourself, you cannot love someone more than you love yourself. Like, you just can't, because if you have never if you have never experienced it, or you can't really show your own self that, it's hard for you to show someone else that. So self-love is like the best love, so that you can be able to give that same kind of love to someone else. That's just my opinion. But I totally feel you, Portia. Sometimes you got to protect yourself from some loved ones, especially when they start abusing and taking for granted your love. But oftentimes in those situations, I find that those people are in, like, they're not happy with themselves. Like, they are not happy with the life that they're living. I won't say like they're jealous of you, but I don't know, because like I said, I put them at a distance, and I'm like, I ain't even trying to get that deep with you or whatever. You stay on over there. But oftentimes they are not happy with the situation they're in, and they don't have, from my experience, they don't have the love for themselves to be able to even love and be happy for someone else. So, but that's just my experience. All right, what's up, Still Rocks? Good to see you. He says it's been a minute. Hope all is well, folks. Yes, I'm glad you got to join, because I know this is kind of late for you. And Still Rocks also says sometimes you gotta love them from a distance. So y'all know all about that loving from a distance of people, because people will test you, and they will, like I said, they will take you for granted. They will take you and your love for granted, and just take all that they can. So you have nothing left. And when I say you have nothing left, you don't want to get to the point where you don't even have nothing left for yourself, any love for yourself to give. All right. And then Portia also says you can love someone but not be in love with them. Yes, so true. Like, I have love for you. I'm just not I'm just not in love with you. Many people stay in loveless relationships for the kids or the lifestyle, but are unhappy. I have heard and that is so true. I have heard of lusting for the flesh, but not liking them as a person. Oh, Portia, you touching on something else that can go really, really, really deep. Lust is a whole nother topic. A whole nother topic. Yes, you can, just like you can love somebody and not like them, you can lust for somebody but not like them. And sometimes you can confuse that lust with love, and not even realize, hey, I don't really like this person, or I know this person is not the best for me, but because of the lust that you have, you just keep doing things that you ain't even supposed to be doing. So yeah, that is another little slippery slope that I ain't trying to go slipping and sliding on tonight. But but yes, that is so true. All right. So, how are you, girl? I hope you are doing good. I don't know. You said there's that. I'm not sure what you were talking about. Probably since we talked about certain things. So I really, really hope you are doing well. And good to see you on. Let me see real quick. Y'all, I only talked about one thing. I had a couple of other things I was going to talk about, but I see it's already we're already 30 minutes past, so I probably won't bring it up. Portia says sometimes you fall out of love due to the other person holding up their end. I think you meant not holding up their end of the deal, such as not striving to do better and becoming complacent. Yes, and I think too, with that being said, when you love someone, I'm not saying you have to, I won't say accept them, but y'all, especially in like romantic relationships as well as friendships, because this has happened in friendships too that I have experienced. Sometimes you grow apart, and just because you grow apart, it's not that you don't love the person, but the love that you have for them is different than when y'all were kind of like growing together. And I've experienced this with friendships where we have kind of like grown apart, and it's like, I still love you, I'll still be there for you, I'll still be down for you, you need me, I'll come through, whatever. But it's like we've kind of grown apart. I can't do this, I'm not going to be hanging out like that with you because we on two different pages and stuff like that. And that is hard because it's a friendship that is, and it can also be like a relationship as well. Relationship, I would imagine, is even tougher. But it's a friendship that's kind of like falling apart and growing apart. And it's easier to, for my experience, it's I won't say it's easier to leave the friendship versus like if you were in a relationship. So like if you were in a relationship, you got to kind of figure out, even though we are growing apart, how can we still grow in love? So that we can stay connected and, in love with each other. So once again, it goes back to that double side of that coin. When it's easy when y'all are growing together. But when someone decides, hey, I'm on a different path, or I don't want to do this anymore, like what Portia is saying, they become complacent. It's like, well, how do I stay in love with that person? Because you fell in love with somebody who was different than who they are presenting themselves now, or who they've grown to be now. So it's navigating that season when you might be growing apart. Like, do I want to stay in this particular relationship? And that goes back to what Belford is saying. Like, we choose who we love, or choose who we want to love. It's like, do I still want to love you, even though this is a hard season, because we are not on the same page. You are going in one direction, I'm going in another direction, and this is not what I signed up for at all. Like, this is not who I fell in love with. So that can be a tough season to navigate. And that's why I say it's easier with friendships, because you're not seeing these people. I know for me, like, you're not seeing them every day or whatever. So it's like, okay, you do your thing, girl, I'm gonna do my thing or whatever, we'll holler, like, no ill will. But if you're in a relationship and you want to stay in the relationship, then it's like you have to find a way to kind of still love the person, even though y'all are growing apart. Because oftentimes too, probably more likely than not, some of the things that y'all were growing together with were things that you did on a regular basis, which is why I'm big on maintaining my individuality in spite of me being married. Like, my husband will tell you, I love spending time with myself. I love spending time with my husband, but I love spending time with myself. Like, I don't mind going out on a date by myself, like taking myself out to eat. I can even go to the movies by myself or whatever. Because if for some reason he wants to do something that I don't want to do, I'm okay. I'm okay with my own company. I'm okay with who I am as an individual. And I know, even though we are not on the same page when it comes to this particular aspect, I'm still secure in who I am. Going back to that, self-love is the best love. And I don't know if it's because I'm an introvert or what, but I am totally okay with my own company. Like, I do not need a whole lot of people around or whatever to keep myself entertained. Me, my thoughts, and I keep ourselves well entertained or whatever. So that is definitely something different to navigate. And what's up? Is it Young Speaker? Young Speaker, welcome. This is my first time seeing you on here. And they asked, I'm not sure if it's a male or a female, any tips for handling intrusive in-laws? Intrusive in terms of what? If you can give me an example, like loosely, like what are they intruding on? Like, is it intruding on like how you raise your kids, how y'all, I don't know. Like, I just need an example of what you mean by being intrusive. Like, they're trying to run your life. What? I know for me, I don't really have that issue with my in-laws or even with my parents. And I guess it's because, I don't know, I've been pretty independent ever since I pretty much like went to college and stuff like that. So I don't really have any issues. And I was intentional, even when even once we finished, like my husband and I finished college and we were thinking about places to settle down, I wanted to make sure we did not settle in one place where it favored one set of parents, over the other. So it's like I didn't want us to move to my hometown. I didn't necessarily want us to move to his hometown because, just that dynamic. I didn't want it to seem like, hey, we're favoring this particular set of parents over the other. I wanted us to have like a neutral territory where we are going to grow and flourish together for the reason where it doesn't look like we're favoring one over the other, but also so other people can't necessarily be interfering in our lives, in our business, and that we could grow as a couple and as individuals on our own. So, but yeah, just give me an example if you can, young speaker. And then Shell says, "Hey, cousin Healing, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm still praying for you. I had talked to your dad the other day." Um, and Shell says, "Relationships require work and wanting to put in the work for yourself and partner." Yes. Yeah, y'all have to be willing to put in the work. Because anything anything is anything you do and you want to do well at it, it's going to require work. Marriage, parenting, whatever, love, all of it requires work. And I won't say I envy, but people who say it's easy, I don't believe they're telling the full story. Because I'll tell you, yeah, there are times where loving my husband is easy, but at the same time, there are times where we have to put the work in. Like we have to be like, hey, we need to sit down. We got some stuff going on. We need to work this on out. And that is not the easy part. It's not. It's not the easy part. Do I still love him during those times? Yes. But if we just let any issues that come up like go by the wayside and stuff like that, then it makes it a lot tougher for us to deal with later on if we don't take care of it. But like I said, it's the same thing like with parenting. If you really love your child, you can't like be your child's best friend. There are gonna be times where, yeah, you have a good time with your child. Yeah, you make sure they're well taken care of, but there are also gonna be times where you're gonna have hard conversations with them and you're gonna have to break some stuff down and you be like, we don't play this in the house. You're gonna have to put some work in, but you still love them. And I think that's with a lot of relationships where you love another person. You're gonna have to have some of those hard conversations. And then boundaries. Does your spouse defend you? Yes, you want to make sure. And first of all, you got to set the boundaries, and y'all got to make sure y'all on the same page, because what might upset you might not upset them, and what might upset them might not upset you. So then when somebody violates a certain boundary, that might be a boundary that you have, but they don't necessarily have, you might be looking at them sideways like, hey, why didn't you defend me? Why did you let them say this about me? Why did you let them take so and so my our child this? Y'all have to be on the same page. Basically, when it comes to romantic relationships, especially if you're married, y'all have to be team players. Y'all have to be on the same team so that y'all will know, hey, this is how we're moving. This is how we're operating. So when somebody commits something that is out of line or commits something that is flagrant against your relationship or against your team effort, y'all are both on the same page and be like, that was out of bounds. They shouldn't have done that. We shouldn't have done that, whatever, so that you can take the necessary steps and do what needs to be done. All right. Young speaker says, my boyfriend's mom wants to tell us how to spend holidays, when to get married, where to live, where to vacation. Now, see, that's too much. So, but I don't know, without knowing your boyfriend, is he like a mama's boy? Not saying it in a bad way, but is he a mama's boy? Has his mom always been making decisions for him? Has he always been, letting her kind of take the charge, take the lead? And also in the relationship, are you kind of the one who always decides, hey, this is where we're going? Are you the main one making the decisions and stuff like that? So if that's the case, And like I said, I don't know your situation. That just might be, I won't say how he is, but he might just be used to somebody else telling him what to do. And he might have just graduated from his mom telling him what to do to now you're telling him what to do. And now you and his mom might be bumping heads, but and he don't know what the problem is because he just used to somebody telling him what to do. So for me personally, I would unless, and if he doesn't have a problem with it, and only you have a problem with it, then yeah, I'm wondering if that's the case. If he's like a mama's boy and he's just used to his mama telling him stuff to do, and now you as his girlfriend or significant other, now you're pretty much making the big decisions and telling him what to do. And if that's the case, y'all will have to probably sit down and have like a hard conversation with the mom. But at the same time, I don't know how long y'all been together, because mama might be like, girl, you gonna be gone in a couple months. You ain't about to tell me nothing. But so I don't know how long the relationship is, but you definitely want to probably sit down and talk to him first and let him know how you feel. And then y'all come to like a certain agreement in certain terms. But that is a very difficult thing to navigate. And we run into this issue as well, just because like I said, where we decided to live is neutral to both of our parents and stuff. And so at a certain point we had to tell like our parents, like they expected us to be certain places during the holidays and stuff like that. And it's like, we have our own family. Like we just were like, hey, we're not gonna be able to do this because we have our own family and we're trying to do traditions and stuff with our family. And so we're not gonna be able to come and see you on this particular day. And what ended up happening is they worked around what we had, like what we had said or whatever. And I don't come from like a big family, so that makes it a little bit easier or whatever. So now, like definitely like for Christmas, I like to spend Christmas at home with my family. And before we used to like try and run around and see everybody. And we said we're not gonna be able to do that. So now like our family members will make arrangements like, hey, we might celebrate Christmas earlier at one particular person's house, or they'll come see us after Christmas, that kind of thing. But we just let them know, hey, we're not gonna be running around on Christmas Day. We are staying home. Y'all are more than welcome to come and see us down here, but we're gonna be at our particular home address and stuff like that. So hope that is helpful. Let's see. And so how far do y'all live from both parents? So one set of parent, we're like 2 hours away. The other one is like 4 hours away. So, but like I said, our home is pretty open. So we always say y'all are more than welcome to come and see us, because it works both ways. Now, and this was definitely more so when they were younger. Now they're getting up in age, so it's a little bit harder for them to come see us, but they would come see us. And Shell says, marriage is hard work. It sure is, girl. It's not easy and not always happy. People shouldn't sugarcoat marriage. No, and that's what I say. When people say loving someone is easy, it's not. It is, but it's not. It's not easy. It's like you got to tell them the whole story. Like a lot of times it is easy, but there are going to be times where it's really hard to love this person, or you're going to be making sacrifices where you don't want to make. And I know it's because, like, for the most part, we are all like selfish individuals. We do things that make us happy. So as long as it makes us happy, we're going to want to do it. And sometimes the things that you might have to do for your spouse, it's not necessarily something that you would naturally choose to do or naturally want to do, or that would naturally make you happy, but it would make them happy. So you would do it. You would do it for them because you love and you care for them so much. But at the same time, that same sacrifice you made should be reciprocated when it comes to things that you might like to do, but that they don't necessarily like to do. So yes, Rochelle, marriage is hard, very, very hard work. All right, I'm glad y'all are enjoying this topic though. I'm going to see what Belfort has to say, and then I'm going to wrap this up because y'all, We've been talking for almost an hour, and I can feel my throat already getting all scratchy. But Belford says, in my opinion, intrusive in-laws should be addressed by the child. I am appreciative I don't have this issue. My in-law always says we don't run nothing in this house, and he don't run nothing over here. Yes. So it is definitely better for whoever the parent is, the child of that parent should talk to them and everything. But I also feel y'all need to talk. So when the person, like when your boyfriend goes to talk to his mom or whoever, he is actually delivering the right message, because y'all have already gotten into alignment on what the message should be that needs to be delivered. And they are delivering it in a way where they are showing that y'all are a united front and are a team, and not so much, well, you know, my girl, she don't want you telling us where to go. It's like, we decided we want to, it's like it should be we, not just in the, whatever your name is, like, hey, my girl Susie, she don't want us to be deciding where we're going. Or Susie decided, hey, we're going to Jamaica and you wanted us to go to the Bahamas or whatever. Is we have decided, instead of going to the Bahamas, we are going to Jamaica or whatever. It should be we. It should be a united front. So excuse me, because if there's any weakness that is shown, or when I say weakness, if there's anything shown where y'all are not united or y'all are not as a team, that is where the enemy can attack. And the enemy can attack, and it could be your family member, like a mom or something like that, who will attack. And you just want to stand united and make sure y'all are on the same page and have that discussion, because he might be like, I don't mind my mom telling us where to go or whatever. And if that's the case, then you got a whole nother problem. That's a whole nother can of worms that you got to deal with, because if you have a problem with the situation but he doesn't recognize it as being a problem, that's an even harder one. That's an even harder one to solve. Okay. But yes, but I'm gonna wrap that up. I don't think there's going to be a part 2 on the love, because we can be talking about this for forever, ever, ever, ever. But I love each and every one of you. I hope y'all know to share love, but always remember, self-love is the best love. And I'm going to end it with the quote, falling in love ain't ish. Everybody around here running, jumping, skipping, falling in love. But somebody please tell me how to stay in love. And I hope everyone who's in a relationship will learn how to stay in love. All right. I love y'all. Mean it.